How did I become president? This journey started a couple of years ago when I first decided to run for the SRA. I had no intention of running for president or becoming president. But then I had a really good year on the SRA. I got involved, I met so many new people, and I finally found something about myself that I really enjoyed doing and I was frankly good at. So I decided after 2 years on the SRA to take the next step up and run for president. So I ran a long campaign. Here I am now, and I think it's been great. One of my biggest goals is to get out there and engage people. Make sure that we're having those important conversations, those dialogues and those debates. What's most important to me? What's most important to you? What do you need from me to see your year and your time at McMaster as successful? How can I be a better president? Some of the other goals, I'd like to set out some sort of long-term plan for the MSU. So we have some sort of reference document that every year we can go back on and measure our progress against to see how we're actually growing and track that. When MSU presidential elections come up, I want you guys to go out there and show the candidates that it matters, that what they do matters. So for you to go out there and say that, you know, this is going to make a big difference in my life, I'm going to go out there and by voting I'm going to show that I care and the MSU is important. I want everyone to get engaged, and I think that's the biggest goal, is overall student engagement. Why did I choose McMaster University? McMaster was one of the top 4 schools on my list, one of the only 4 schools on my list. I decided to come here over other schools like Western, Waterloo, or Laurier because I like the environment. I like the feel of the campus. I like the size of the campus. I like how Hamilton is so close to everything and it has so much to do in and of itself. There's arts, there's culture, there's sports. But most of all, it was the feel of the campus. It was the size of the campus. It's not too big, it's not too small. There's a whole, it's so much bigger than the size my high school was, but yet it's not overwhelmingly large. And so I've had the opportunity to meet professors. I've had the opportunity to meet so many of my fellow students, and so much more. I would say that the best class I've ever taken, it's really hard to narrow down to 1 or 2. That's a really good question because there's so many great classes that I've taken here at Mac, and there's so many great professors that I've had. So looking at them, one of the best I remember is music for film and television. I love television. Don't get me wrong, I love it. So I took a class on it, and I got to sit there and I got to see how music affects the way we watch TV. And then there's other classes like neuroimmunology, which has nothing to do with television, but I still really love. The diversity of courses that's available at this university is great. There's so many other classes I've taken, but those 2 stand out. What's one thing every student should do this year? I think every student needs to take out the time and find what they really love. There's so many opportunities available on this campus that you can find it. It might take you some time, but try a little bit of everything and see what works for you. What are you passionate about? What's going to make you get up that day and say that, you know what, I'm going to have a really great day because I'm about to go and do this. I don't think there's just one piece of advice. I think there's so many little things that I can tell everybody. But overall, go out, experience things for yourself. I'm not going to tell you, well, I will try to tell you to do certain things or go about things a certain way, but that might not work for you. Sometimes you have to go out there and do it, and either it works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, and you make a mistake, learn from the mistake. What I would say, for some things that I would say, a little piece of advice, go to class. Most people, 99% of people, learn best from learning the material firsthand from their professors. Not reading a friend's notes, not reading notes off a computer, but hearing a professor actually speak about it. I think it's a really big thing. We're all here primarily for our undergraduate education, and I think that's one of the biggest things that we can focus on. I think what I'm most passionate about is listening to you as a student, listening to everybody around me, and finding what everybody wants and needs from the MSU. I think we need to really foster that sense of community, and that is what I'm most passionate about, making a community out of all the different groups we have on campus here today, and saying that we're all McMaster students, we all go to Mac, we're all MSU members.